demolish an abandoned house or do you invest in it and restore it? It's a decision we have to make again and again on every side of the city of Syracuse. North side, south side, east side, and west. It's the decision God faced when he came to his house, his temple in Jerusalem at the time of Jesus. On his last Sunday, Jesus makes a glorious and hopeful entry into Jerusalem. He's the people's choice. However, Jerusalem is not in the power of the common man. It's in the control of the religious elite who are jealous that Jesus is getting so much attention. On that Sunday, we often call it Palm Sunday, Jesus the Holy Carpenter visits the big house in Jerusalem and makes an inspection of sorts. However, he does not yet say or do anything regarding his findings. Monday's a different story. On the way into Jerusalem, Jesus curses a fig tree that represents Jerusalem. On Monday, he overturns the tables of merchants and money changers in the temple. He gives the temple bad grades, condemning it as a den of thieves. Jesus is faced with a decision I think we can relate to right here in Syracuse, New York. Do you tear down an abandoned house or do you reclaim it? It's a common story. An old house has been left to rot, to become the habitation of rats and roaches. In its current condition, it's dangerous, disgusting, and useless. Does the city condemn it and knock it down? Or will someone make a huge investment of money and effort to save it? Jesus didn't face this decision regarding only a building. The temple architecture was new and beautiful, built to the highest standards. Instead of a physical building, Jesus' attention was on the hypocrites who were in control of the house and the power games they were playing. On Tuesday of his last week, Jesus could not have condemned Jerusalem more severely. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, how often I have longed to gather your children together as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, and you were not willing. Look, your house is left to you desolate. On his final Tuesday, Jesus gives the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the scribes, and the chief priests an earful. Almost all of what he says is condemning. We can divide Jesus' teaching and preaching on his final Tuesday into 5 parts. First, he answers the doctrinal challenges of his enemies. Second, there are 3 parables with which he condemns his enemies' unfaithfulness and treachery. Third, are his criticisms and condemnations of the scribes and Pharisees. Fourth, there are his prophecies concerning the coming judgment. And finally, he tells 5 more parables that warn us to be watchful and avoid the sins of omission. What is Jesus' final word on Jerusalem's house of God? Quote, "Do you see these great buildings? Not one stone shall be left upon another which will not be torn down." Tonight at Home Fellowship, we will focus on Jesus' criticism of the hypocritical scribes and Pharisees.